Alright, we're going to take a look at the next part, which is a pattern type. So if you go to the properties for your weapon and then scroll down to the pattern option. The recording on this one, I'm not going to be able to go through all of these different ones. The recording will just kind of slow down a little too much. But test them out. You can scroll through all of these. These would be a basic setup for you to get started with. You can either use it as your primary type, but basically what it does is allow you to go into your pattern settings and then start making adjustments from there. So for instance here, you can choose how many bullets you want to come out. Now notice right now they come out a little bit random, but they also come out at angles. Well, let's start off by taking our count to 1. Let's take our speed a little slower so we can see what's happening. Take our randomness down to 0, our default spread down to 0, and now we're getting somewhere because now we actually have a starting point. Alright, so if we take it from here, and let's say for instance we go to count and do, we'll say 2. Well, notice when we do 2, there's 2 bullets coming out at the same time, but they're right on top of each other. So when it comes to the spacing, what spacing does is separate out the objects. So for instance, if I did 20, they're going to come out from the top here and bottom here. Now if we increase the count, notice now they're evenly spaced all the way across right there. However many you decide to make a count with is how many is going to get fit in between the spacing of the 20 size spacing right there. Okay, so let's say for instance we'll say 4 for the moment. Now if we go down to randomness, let's go ahead and increase randomness a little bit. Now notice now all of a sudden you have bullets that are a little in front, a little behind, a little together, up and down. So the randomness is just simply going to just change where they come out and when they come out, just by a little bit so that it feels a little more random. Now if we take random back to 0 again, now if we take our dual spread and we start to increase it, so the spread is taking it from the point that we have of our spacing, and then it starts to actually angle the bullets or projectiles out, going in an outward direction there. So the more you take it, you can actually take it so that it shoots backwards as well as forward. So you can actually have quite a bit of a fun shot to it, and when you start adding 15 or 20 of those in, you'll get a really cool effect and pattern that can come from it. Again, the recording on this slows it down, so I'm not going to show that part of it, but be sure to check it out on your own doing it outside of it. Alright, so that's going to be the default spread area. Now, the default spread by itself is consistent. It goes in the same way. If you decide to say you want to use the ping pong speed and the spread and speed, what that's going to do is actually do a motion for it. So for instance, if you kind of follow along with this one, it's going to go up and then go down, it's going to go back up. When you have a whole bunch of them, you'll start having that little cool pattern shape that comes with the bullets when they just start spreading out. And then you can to see that actually happen, you start taking your repeat rate down to a lower amount so that they start shooting out faster, and then you can start seeing that happen. Alright, but again, the recording side of this one, I'm just keeping it a little bit lower so that we can record without dropping too much on the frame rate side. Alright, so there we go. That goes over the patterns, the default patterns you can use from here, and then also adjusting them directly into here.